for assistant leaders. Playfields allow players to all accept players and officials. Please ensure that when leaving Christie Park, that all rubbish is taken with you or placed in the bins provided. Please note that it is an expectation that all spectators respect players and referees at all times whilst in the venue.
Other than that, good.
Sponsors for the ongoing support of our football program. In recognition of the like to thank all of our major sponsors, Yorker, Wildcraft, and all the other sponsors that contribute to this club.
A very good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the cold confines of Christie Park. Spirit FC hosting the Wollongong Wolves in round 14 of the NPL New South Wales men's competition. And this is not a venue the Wolves have grown to love in their lone visit. Last year's corresponding fixture at this ground was the game of the season. The Wolves' 2-goal lead that's separating within the space of 5 minutes. Richie Darko's 94th minute winner from his own half, the most memorable moments of Spirit's return to the top flight so far. The momentum from that victory was the catalyst for the form that saw them finish securely in mid-table. They'll need something similar tonight. A small case of second season syndrome has hit the club, seeing them just pick up just 9 points from their first 13 games. Nothing terminal yet, but something that needs to be treated quickly. A win over the Wolves tonight could be the perfect tonic. Let's take you to the starting lineup that David Perkovich puts out tonight in search of a precious 3 points. Just one change from the loss to Blacktown City last weekend. When they start like this, it's looking as though it's going to be something along the lines of a 4-4-2 tonight, but we wait and see. In goal is number 1 Chris Marquez again, the captain, number 8 Grant Cornwall at right back, number 16 Ante Bakmaj, partners number 3 Kyle Shaw in the centre of defence, number 13 Simon Nicholas, the left back. In midfield, number 17 Jack Chidiak, number 20 Jared Lum, number 7 Richard Darko, the hero in that game last year, and the returning number 4 Jared McKinley. Front 2 are number 11 Ollie Wigan and number 9 Jesse Michelle. For the Wolves, just one change for them as well after a thumping 5-1 victory against the Mariners last weekend. In goal is number 20 veteran Jan Jetovic. Behind the back 4 of number 8 Andre Takami, number 3 Darcy Madden, the lone change tonight in for Harrison Busnell, alongside number 5 Banri Kanaizumi, and number 4 at left back is Dylan Ryan. Through the midfield, number 10 is Yasu Mustafa. Midfield 2 of number 6, Sammy Riak. Number 88, Chris McStay. Number 7, Takumi Afuka is the left winger and the top scorer so far this season. Number 11, Seth Hernandez, partners the captain, Lachlan Scott, up front. Alex Molchanoff, delighted to be along with you. I mentioned this game means the Spirit in the pre-game for the Wolves. They did manage to get some revenge against Spirit later in the year down at Albert Butler Memorial Reserve, winning that return fixture by 2-1. But memory of the remarkable collapse here last season, surely one that still rankles. Still a chance for some small redemption tonight, as well as a chance to put them firmly back into the finals conversation as we approach the midway point of the NPL season. Fuka will be, and that Spirit's attention will be focused on so much in a defensive sense tonight. One more to break into double figures already this season before the midpoint. It's impressive his first year at this level after being picked up from the Illawarra Premier League last season from Tarrawanna Blues. It's been such a fruitful route into this competition for the Wolves, particularly having access to one of the strongest association competitions in New South Wales. Spirit know all too well about that as they knocked out Wollongong United. A fantastic Waratah Cup run here back in 2022. The cup that they'd go on to win, and the first ever outside New South Wales' top division to take home that silverware. What an interesting adventure in that competition in the midweek. 75 minutes of their tie against Chill, excuse me, at Fraser Park was played. Noah Peacock getting his first goal for the club. But going back to do it all again on Tuesday nights. 15 more minutes left to play and potential extra time in penalties with that game locked at a goal apiece. First time David Perkovic's team had an interrupted end to a game. I remember a couple of weeks ago the lights went out at Manly United into stoppage time. Very good start to this one as we expected. Simon Nicholas is forward from left full back to take this throw. Looks as though it's going long. Cole Shaw's been thrown forward. He's the target. He gets the head on the ball. Wolves there to clean up the scraps. McStay just squeezed it high into the night sky. Scott using his physical attributes to get up in the air and win a header to help his team defensively. The Wolves still haven't cleared the danger. It's a problem this year. It's not necessarily been keeping hold of the football. They've done a fairly good job of that for a team in the lower half of the table. It's been finding the back of the net on the back of that. Just 15 goals in the league so far across their 13 games. And they've shared them out pretty equally as well. No one in the squad has more than 2 in the league to this point in the season. The man who's going to be challenging Scott for this one. Nice work from Lockie Scott. Terrific bit of hold-up play to Carmy's forward, looking to measure across. And we found Shaw. And now Wigan, who's been looking back to his darting, weaving best over the past couple of weeks, but he was onto a different page of the same book as Jake Chidiac there. Come out energised on a run in the last month or so before that big win over the Central Coast Mariners last weekend. That's a good touch. Gorgeous touch from Chidiac to take him away from the attentions of the Wolves defenders. Darko's there. His injuries haven't helped Spirit's cause at this early stage in the season. They're missing Michael Colastabile again after his comeback a couple of weeks ago. He's had 2 appearances on his return before not being fit enough for the matchday squad today. They've got another player down in a heap inside the Wolves half. This game the start of a big night of coverage across the Football New South Wales YouTube page tonight. Following us at 7 o'clock, there's a triumvirate of games. The Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Sydney Olympic, trying to arrest a couple of games slide for them. So they cling on to top spot on the early season table. Hills United hosting Apia-Leika, and St George City hosting the Sutherland Sharks. That one will kick off 15 minutes later at 7:15 down at Penshurst Park. Then tomorrow, Blacktown City taking on Marconi at Landon Stadium, and Rockdale Illingdon facing Sydney FC. That's after Manly United and Sydney United drew 1-1 at Cromer Park last night. Central Coast Mariners in with St George FC earlier today. It's had to be rescheduled with Bloom Park near flooded, I'm told. Not a surprise with the amount of rain we've had on the eastern seaboard of Australia over the last week or so. The pitch tonight's in much better condition than the Fraser Park surface on Wednesday night for Spirit.
Reverse press!
Big battle for possession between Scott and McKinley. Really escaped his attentions. Wasn't able to do so. And McKinley showing a good bit of wherewithal of his own to retain possession for the hosts. Keep an eye on the way Spirit's defenders move into midfield occasionally to try and build up the attack. Buckmarsh, probably the most frequent of those to do that this season. Nicholas forced to just hoist that over the Wolves press. They're not going to allow them to build patiently from the back as David Perkovic's side is really desired to. Suka happy to get into the scrap as well. There are a couple of whistles around the ground tonight. We do have an association match from the Gladesville area being played behind us on Christie Park number 2 tonight. Not my job tonight, keep you up to date with what's happening in front of us. Chidiak's had a lively start to this one. Bakmaj getting involved through the centre of the park. Nicholas. For Kyle Shaw, and now Cornwell.
Get across, Kyle! Get
It's the
across!
entirety of last season with an ACL injury suffered in pre-season after winning promotion and winning the cup. As the captain of the club that he's been at since his junior years. Ollie Wiggins a more recent addition, but enjoyed his time here into his second season with the club. Has gone away from matching his goal tally for all of last season in the league.
Pressure!
His press forces the turnover there from Takami trying to play out. For Yagub Mustafa, one-time South Sudanese international. Throwing abilities of Jared Lum to be used again here. Shaw rose highest. Cornwall got to the second ball. And only half a way by the Wolves, and a clean strike from Chidiak, who is just leaning a little too far back. So the ball is always rising over veteran Jan Jetovic's net. But I think the Spirit fans will be pretty content with. It's the problem for Wollongong, who started the season so brightly. They've led the league at one stage in the month of April. Since that moment, they haven't been able to win a game against anyone other than a couple of the academy sides they've faced over the past 3 weeks. Army with a full piece of work to find Jan Jetovic. All looked the smoothest, but it worked out for the best in the end. For the Wolves anyway. Mustafa, a clever footballer, and he was turning away from the attentions of the defence there. Scott will look to use his strength, and McKinley, who has a rash challenge like that in his locker, is just a little too keen there. Certainly not one to shirk one. It's a couple of times already he's been involved with Scott. So the dead ball ability of Chris McStay of its first chance to be showcased. Really a name to anyone who's been following this competition for any length of time, Chris McStay. With Rockdale and the Sutherland Sharks, that's far from his best delivery that he's launched in his career, the 27-year-old. One he might have wanted back. Goes long from Nicholas. Chidiak has found himself deep on the field, up top, in the win headers. He's been an all-action first 10 minutes or so. Very structured and considered from the hosts at the moment. Happy to play this long ball and then let Lum do his work. Shaw forward again. Bounces over the heads of everybody. Jesse Michelle, I don't think, has had a touch of the football Get the nominal centre forward for Spirit so far. Nicely worked from Dylan Ryan back there. Got himself on the score sheet a couple of times over the last couple of weeks since returning to Wollongong. This highly touted men's products to come out of the region in the past decade or so.
Keep the talk up! Keep the talk up!
Australian under-23 international, spent time over with Liverpool's academy as well as a couple in the Netherlands, Willem II and Den Bosch. Put under the pump tonight by Spirit and Richard Darko if he continues to move out to that side. He'll give his opponent plenty to think about going the other way. It's the Wolves' turn to try and play out. Janjetovic is adept with his feet. That's a beautiful ball to find McStay through a forest of yellow bodies. McStay looks to keep the Wolves' forward momentum going. Lovely ball for Ryan. He's got a gorgeous left foot. Beats everyone in red except Mustafa. Has a second bite of the cherry. And Lum is back to get in front of his defence and block the cross. Danger still not clear though. Takami underlapping. And his touch let him down at the vital moment. Simon Nicholas credited with the work.
Dynamic movement!
Steven Pokovic always vocal on the sidelines. His team for more movement early. Nathan Shakespeare, the Canberra native, is our referee tonight. Asked by both teams for a foul there. Didn't see fit to give it either way. It's just going to be a Spirit throw.
Next smoker!
Alex Mortanoff joining you on the Football New South Wales YouTube page tonight. Delighted to be bringing you the first game of our Saturday night slate of matches in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Don't miss too much if you're just joining us. Yeah, neither goalkeeper called into meaningful action to this stage. Shaw for Nicholas. Looking to break the lines, done so nicely. Chidiak again the target. Kanaizumi's had the ball over Michelle in the early stages, but he's done enough there, the Spirit striker, to keep the attack alive. Darko's ball was searching. Janjetovic cut it out before it could find anyone in yellow. Beautiful bit of distribution again from the Wolves' experienced gloveman, Mustafa. Takami striding forward. He's been a consistent threat down the right in these early stages for Wollongong. And it's the first time he gets to the byline. And his touch, the ending he's looking for on his adventure forwards.
Second 15! Second 15! Second 50! Too early, Maka!
I mentioned that game last season that finished 5-4 a little earlier in the coverage. This is actually a fairly similar start to that one. It was a cagey start to the affair. First goal wasn't scored until after the half-hour mark. Lum hitting that one, running half volley. He's not a player known for his goal-scoring ability, Jared Lum.
Get closer, Maka!
Janjetovic consistently looking for squat downfield from those long balls. Wigan, who has become a noticeably more willing defender since he's moved to Spirit. He could drift in and out of matches at times to the point of his career with near neighbours Northern Tigers in League One. Pokovic has managed to convince him that the more work he is able to do, the more rewards he'll bear. proven to be the case at the start of this season in a goal-scoring stance. Probably something he'd like to add a few more of to his game. Darko did nicely. Michel found himself in space really for the first time this evening. Kanaizumi brings the attack to an end before it could really get going. Scott just electing to walk whack on side there. He's in the offside position, getting behind the ball. Get yourself set. That's very much the first tenet of the Wolves' style of play, being disciplined defensively.
Face forward!
In the way Spirit prefer to build their attacks thoughtfully.
Combine. And get out. Space there, Chids, on your left.
Coming out of their shape a little to press. Greg True is looking his return to the matchday squad today off the bench. Certainly offer another dimension to their attack with his pace. David Carney chooses to go to him. That's a very high chance to react, but the free kick goes against Ante Bakmaj, who is down in a heap on the floor. David Perkovic cannot believe it. Spirit players surrounding the referee. Had a very good view of it, Shakespeare. In conversation with Grant Cornwell, the Spirit captain. Declan Woods is the fourth official down talking to Perkovic. You'll be able to hear some of that conversation through our effects microphone. Apologies for any language that does come through tonight, but we are very close to the technical areas here at Christie Park. It's good if you'd like to hear the insights, but perhaps less so if you prefer not to hear the colour that can emerge from the two coaching staffs. So the free kick has gone Wollongong's way. And Spirit, like it or not, Bakmaj has found his way off the field. Looks as though he's set to return very shortly. Before the Wolves can take this free kick and fire it forward into some of the space he's vacated. Cooper electing to go square. I've seen too much of him on the ball in the opening 20 minutes.
Talk to Macarte when you're ready.
React for Ryan. And then McStay. Some of the better football we've seen from the Wolves this evening, but it breaks down as it enters the final third. Ollie Wiggins riding through midfield now for Spirit. His quick feet. Was one of the best in the competition statistically in terms of his passing percentage and that sort of thing. For those interested in those sort of statistics. Talking him up for his sureness of foot. Plays it straight out.
Got him! Got him!
Jetovic, without too many targets in front of him, lets out a scream of frustration after playing the ball forwards. Real chance for Spirit to get something from the counter. Diving back in there was a Fuka. You've got probably your best attacking weapon doing that sort of defending. It's a signal to the rest of the players the sort of attitude they should be displaying. Fuka's in there getting a foot in again. React working with him to win the throw.
Next drop!
A couple of seasons Sammy React's had under David Carney. Just moving up to New South Wales. time in NPL Victoria with Hume City for a while. Was over with Red Star in WA before moving to New South Wales and signing for the Wolves. He's been the consistent figure in the heart of Carney's midfield over his season and a half in charge so far. Darcy Madden carrying the ball out into the side tonight in the absence of Harrison Buesel. Wigan wanted a free kick. I'm not really sure what form. Mustafa was well positioned, but then he turned it over. Chidiac. Lovely ball square, and Darko, well, he was getting ready to have a shot. Riak brought down Simon Nicholas. And I think David Perkovic has a right to be a little frustrated that play wasn't allowed to continue there. Darko was getting ready to unleash a shot. Either way, Spirit have got the free kick, and they've got Jared Lum, who's one of the better exponents of it in the competition. So Hosu have continued to build pressure over the opening quarter of this match. In a tall wall for veteran Janjetovic. Riak, the tallest figure through the middle. Seth Hernandez and Lachlan Scott, the two strikers either side of him. Mustafa perched on the edge. Where will Lum go? He's over the wall, didn't get the dip he was looking for to bring it back down. Although sailing high and wide of veteran Janjetovic's net. Little let off there for the Wolves. First yellow card of the night being awarded amongst all that to Sami Riak. This time the Wolves do get a decision. It goes their way through the centre of the park.
Not too high, Jeff.
Couple of styles to this point. Two teams who are got a very strong identity and idea about the way they want to play. So far cancelled one another out. McStay trying to change that with his curling ball. Nicholas rose highest, and then Wigan working hard to get back and pick the ball off the toe of Riak. Lovely ball over the top. Chidiac finding himself in space again. Do something more telling with the football. No, he can't.
Find your shape, find your shape. Organise. Yes.
Darko, the ball back through midfield. Such a storied career
Numbers,
in New South Wales football, this competition and in League One, and he's striding past defences. A challenge that had to be perfectly timed by Ryan, and he got it spot on.
Every shout, though. Every fucking decision. You just concentrate on football.
We'll continue to go back to the 5-4 game between these two last season, because there was a fair bit of banter, shall we say, shared between the two technical areas, particularly David Carney and David Perkovic. Two of the coaches that aren't probably best of friends, put it that way, particularly when they're both watching their sides compete against one another. Chidiac being caught coming back from an offside position. Hernandez, who's a couple of balls played in his direction tonight, but nothing really he's been able to do too much with. It's something Wollongong will be looking to change, because he's a player with a cannon of a right foot if he does get the time to turn and fire on goal. former Bulls Academy man. Nicholas has been in the way of everything that has come down his flank so far. The Spirit. Shell's given something to chase into the channel, and he's certainly caused headaches for Darcy Madden, but couldn't win the corner kick. It's been an interesting run of games for Spirit. They have struggled to put together strong performances in an attacking sense. It's funny in saying that, through doing the research, they haven't been held scoreless since match day 2. Started the season with 2 consecutive 0-0 draws. Managed to open up a little bit since then, but it's been putting them together with big bunches. Particularly getting consistent output from their front players, which has been an issue. Lost their last 3 games against Blacktown, Manly and Sydney Olympic. One they were looking at as an opportunity to stamp their mark on this season. In the pre-game. A full-blown case of second season syndrome at this level, but it needs to be monitored so that they're not flitting for too long with the bottom 2 and potential relegation. It's a conversation they certainly don't want to be involved in the second half of the season. They've got the quality to keep them out of that, as long as they can keep players fit and put together a decent run of games. Terrific energy from Lachlan Scott, leading from the front for the Wolves. Funnily enough, their last win against Hills about a month ago now. 3 of the starting front 3 got on the score sheet that night. Shell was one of them, Ollie Wigan. That night starting was on the bench this evening. 20-year-old Zach Chanchi. There's an option for Perkovic off the bench again tonight. A couple of youngsters with attacking talent. Bit of work from Chidiak. Probably been the pick of the players out there so far this evening. Darko's in that conversation, but he couldn't find the ball to break the line. He goes forward. It's a game in which the defence has had the foot over the attack to this point. From David Perkovic is the focus for the next 15, all the way up to half-time as we tick past the half-hour mark here at Christie Park. Yet really to see a meaningful chance for either side. Lovely touch from Andre Takami. Mustafa. Just the 1 league goal for the Wolves a couple of weeks ago. Lions' ball was pretty poor in this situation. And Wigan has done almost as he's wanted with the ball so far this evening. And him doing that closer to goal. He can threaten veteran Janjetovic's goal. Lum searching for options and playing it too far ahead of Richie Darko. It's a little bit scrappy from Wollongong, but they have made a habit of making them from those situations over the past couple of years. Nicholas tidying up initially. One back through midfield by McStay. One who thrives on chaos. That's a lovely ball in the centre from Seb Hernandez. First time, really, he's been able to break the Spirit line and get him behind. Frustrated with how long to come. He was waiting with that throw. Scotty's backing into Bakmaj, and Nicholas just electing to stick it behind for a corner kick. Wolves have been pegged back in their own half for the majority of the game so far. Getting a chance to try and launch in a telling set piece here. McStay's had a couple of chances to do that. Hasn't really been able to hit the mark to this point. Expect him to at some stage. So an outswinger. Plenty of bodies forward to aim for. Didn't beat Bakmaj at the front post. He's a little frustrated with how little he's seen of the ball to this point. Moving forward, he was looking to link up with Ryan, who tried something special. Something more straightforward was reaping more rewards. Hernandez for McStay, and now Mustafa goes down under the challenge of Nicholas with a big yelp, but was quickly waved away by Shakespeare, and there was no real appeals from his teammates either. Mustafa now back to his feet, but behind play. The Spirit are trying to counter, but that really was too ponderous to cause any sort of danger. It has been a scrappy game of football so far, it must be said. I think either coach will be particularly pleased with what they've seen. Goal could change all that, but it's been a scrap rather than one for the purists to this point. In this tactic a couple of times earlier in the half. Jared Lum will be searching for Kyle Shaw. He's been marked by two Wolves players now. Still, he might be able to work his head onto the ball. He certainly has. Madden diving back to deal with it. Such is the quality in the air of Kyle Shaw that when the opposition knows what's coming, sometimes they can't stop it. Michelle dropping it back for McKinley. Dropped out of the game a little bit since his yellow card. Stay was trying to steer one towards Hernandez. He's just pulled up at the end of that run. Keep an eye on him. Going long. The approach is not working to this point. Spirit have looked really untroubled by everything their visitors have thrown at them to this point. Lum's ball forward. Chidiac has looked the most dangerous for Spirit in an attacking sense, getting in between the lines, but that's all fallen over. One pass from Lum, who would expect better by his own standards. Riak playing it into the space for Mustafa, but Nicholas was always ahead in the race and got there to clear. Just under 10 minutes of normal time to play here at Christie Park in the first half. Alex Molchanoff with you on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. A pleasure to be kicking off our Saturday night coverage. 3 more games coming up at 7 o'clock. Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Sydney Olympic. Hold that thought for a moment because the Wolves did manage to get to the byline through Scott. Ryan. Some Spirit juniors making their voices heard for the first time tonight. Takami lining up a delivery. Only half clear by Bakmaj. Scott forces Marquez into the first save of the night. No, not according to referee Shakespeare. Didn't see a touch. Scott is less than impressed with the decision. Marquez with a wry smile. He takes the goal kick short. Cheat! Wolves, after a short period where they were a little bit more adventurous in their press, have sat back into their shape. That's a gorgeous direct ball. Michelle finally escaping the attentions of Madden and getting a shot away. Janjetovic saw it all the way with his favoured foot, Jesse Michelle. Coming off the left, but it was a good direct ball, really for the first time tonight from Spirit, which was able to breach the defence of their opposition. Now, Hernandez has Marquez playing sweeper. Zumi got up high. Fuka couldn't keep the ball in. So after 37 minutes of stalemate, suddenly two long balls just catching the defences, mapping a little. Janjetovic's first save of the night was a fairly straightforward one. You're hoping he's not trying to face another. Wigan with whirring feet, darting inside, but ultimately a combination of loose touches gave away the football. Now Hernandez is in a foot race with Cornwall, who brought him down, and the free kick goes against Seb Hernandez, who seems to be arguing that he copped a bit of a forearm or an elbow. He who was judged to have made contact with the back of the legs of the Spirit captain.
With purpose!
Expecting a bit more rain than we got this evening. A bit of a blessing for the players, certainly, considering the downpour we had last night in Sydney. Really, over the past week or so, it barely stopped raining. So, nice for the players to have a dry night overhead. Certainly not underfoot, although the synthetic turf seems to sweep away a lot of that moisture a lot quicker than the natural grass. Scott's ball in, is searching for Hernandez, who will feel he should have done better.
Make sure our preparation is good.
Managed to time his jump, but just steered the ball too far to Chris Marquez's left. Gave him nothing really to worry about in the end, but that's the best chance the Wolves have been able to create so far this evening.
We're live. Can we make some defense?
Hernandez would like to have done quite a bit better. Team's still looking for the balls over the top. Kinley is in Kanaizumi's eye line, but never really in the contest. Wigan slaloming past a couple of players. McStay brings that run to an end, but concedes the free kick. It's been the easiest one for referee Shakespeare. There's been a little bit of feeling boiling under this one. Spirit trying to continue running this fixture. Sees both teams undefeated at home, dating all the way back to the NSL days. Quite a way into it as well. That's a beautiful bit of distribution, not for the first time tonight from veteran Janjetovic. Wants to counter-attack with Hernandez, and Mustafa's there. I don't know how much Chris Marquez knew about the save. Almost backhanding the ball clear. Effective enough in any case. Two chances for the Wolves that have really come out of nowhere. McStay slides in and times the challenge. Now McKinley, he's got to be careful. He's already on a booking. No foul there. His intervention was fair enough there.
Get closer to the ball. Relax. Field positioning.
It's been an odd game of football to this stage, but difficult to describe what we've seen in front of us in terms of a real pattern to discern. Certainly, Spirit have tried to do this, built patiently from the back. You'd expect that from them. Not really been able to find a way past the Wolves on a consistent basis, who've been looking to go more direct, but have run into the same issues. Balls like that just being given away very, very cheaply from both teams. Easily read by Shaw. Chidiak's been one of the few who's been tight in his play, and even then he's not helped out by experienced teammate Richard Zarko, just let the ball pass through his legs. Most unusual. Couple of half chances, but that's about the extent of it to this point.
Find your shape, Spirit!
At Christie Park so far tonight.
Find your shape, Spirit! Step forward!
Cornwell. Looking for that ball again, but on a different page to Jesse Michelle, who was the target. Made a run looking for the ball to feet. Travelled about 5 yards over his head. Trying something a bit more intricate, and that all falls down through the middle of the park. Just neither team able to get anything going in the way of consistent attacking opportunities. Only Wigan might provide something here. Bursting forwards, just pondered over the shot for a moment too long, and then almost rugby tackled Kanaizumi as he attempted to clear. Plenty for both coaches to ponder at the break. It's not been how either of them, I'm sure, envisioned this game going. There's been too many surprises in the way of tactics from either coach to this point. Certainly both have weapons off the bench that could change the game in the second half, but might be looking to them sooner rather than later. Little change, of course.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
Goals just before the break. So frequent in this competition.
Get close to Ollie. Not straight!
Of course, we remember how much of the action happened late in the two games between these two sides a year ago.
Come on, come on!
Certainly there is a little bit more urgency, particularly from the Wolves, as we tick towards half-time. Both teams needing a result for different reasons tonight, as I outlined a little bit earlier in the broadcast. The Spirit players trying to avoid falling into what could become a little bit of a relegation scrap if they're not very, very careful in the second half of the year. Wollongong, who started so brightly this season, form has tapered off over the last month or so. Looking to climb back into the top six, but they're really going to have to find some improved performance in this second half if they are to be in conversations about finals football this season. Unable to bring anything particularly telling to this one in the opening 45 minutes. We do tick into stoppage time. With official Declan Woods indicating there'll be 2 minutes of time added on. Yellow card apiece. The extent of the notable moments in this first half. Takami. Stuffers ball in behind, easily read by Lum, who tracked Scott's run all the way. Takami couldn't keep the ball in play. Thought he did. Ayed Naji is the assistant on the near side this evening. Pretty experienced assistant now at this level. And a very good view. Fairly functional and cautious. Now, that was a strange one. McKinley running into the back of the legs of McStay, who felt the effects. Last thing Spirit would want here is to cop a cheap goal from a situation that was really developing into nothing. McStay, as though he's a little worse for wear, hasn't been at his best from these dead ball situations to this point this evening. It all changed with one good delivery. Certainly got the targets forward who can capitalise if he's able to find one. Scott is one of them. He's looking deeper than that. They scored 3 goals from set pieces last weekend against the Central Coast Mariners. It doesn't reach its intended target. Ryan just thumps it into his direct opponent. Wins the throw. Into the 3rd minute of stoppage time in this first half now. Cornwall wanted the free kick, didn't get it. Nicholas helped him out, and referee Shakespeare brings the first half to a close here at Christie Park. One that was a test of the team's energy and endeavour, more than anything particularly inspiring with the football at their feet. Well, the goalkeeper forced into a meaningful save over 45 minutes. I think both teams would want to see improvement on going into the second half. But as the teams head for the sheds here at Christie Park at half-time, it's Northwest Sydney Spirit FC 0, Wollongong Wolves 0. On this Saturday night, round 14 of the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Spirit FC and the Wollongong Wolves locked at 0-0 at the break. The Wolves probably edging the chances in terms of quality in the first half. Sebastian Hernandez putting a free header wide from a fairly good position. Chris Marquez worried by a couple of shots that ventured near the corners of his net, but not forced into a meaningful save. Neither was Vedran Janjatovic. Little worm burner from Ollie Wigan, probably the most work he had to undertake in the first half. It's been a cagey affair over the first 45 minutes. Let's hope for the neutrals that it opens up a little as the time ticks on in the second half. No changes for either side coming out of the sheds. Assistant Ayad Naji just checking the side of Vedran Janjatovic's net, and we're all set to go. Referee Nathan Shakespeare's got a smile on his face. Let's hope that represents a happy 45 minutes of football to come. The Wolves who get us underway in this second half. Their home strip of red and white. Travelling away to Spirit, who are in the yellow and black of the Bladesville Hornsby Association, which they represent. Fixture that dates all the way back to the old NSL. They met for half a decade. End of the 90s, started the 2000s. Spirit were, of course, Northern Spirit then, taken over by the Bladesville Hornsby Association since then. And well at building themselves back into a team that are able to compete in the top level of New South Wales football. In just over a decade to do it, though. David Perkovic has got his sides playing proactive, possession-based football. Been able to showcase too much of their attacking talent to this point tonight, and that's largely been down to a pretty savvy defensive performance from their visitors so far. Second straight trip up the coast to Wollongong. The run of fixtures doesn't get too much easier. They're coming back next week for an away clash with Manly United at Bremer Park. Funnily enough, a venue they won at in the league but lost out in the cup last season.
Subby's got two!
They've got an Australian Cup clash coming up on the 21st of May against Rockdale Illingdon, who knocked off Manly. The fourth round, which is where
Hooking it! Side on!
the NPL clubs join that competition. Straight through to the sixth round again. They've got 15 minutes of a tie against Dulwich Hill to complete on Tuesday night, plus any extra time that comes out of that. To the Brigham, young Noah Peacock, who made his debut off the bench against Blacktown City last weekend to get a second appearance and a first goal. That game at Fraser Park in the pouring rain on Wednesday night. With a bunch of promising options for David Perkovic that he can look to try and turn the tide over the course of this second half. Been able to consistently threaten Janjatovic. Have something here through Cornwell. Really the traditional, more modern, I should say, overlapping fullback. He's been a centre-half for the majority of his career. Fernandez was looking to break the line, but well offside. So you probably had the best chance of the first half. It was a bit out of nothing. From the right that was beautifully measured towards him. His free header ended up close to the corner flag. Chris Marquez's goal. That's a clumsy challenge from Hernandez as well. Cornwell yelp right in front of us, but wins the free kick. This one who's not afraid to dish out the tough tackles. He's happy enough to take them when they come his way as well.
Preparation!
Spirit have looked to go direct with the majority of their set pieces tonight. Kyle Shaw once again the target. This time it evades him. Kanai Zumi got the telling header, but stayed forward for Mustafa, who was promising in patches down the right in the first half. He's weighted that beautifully for Lockie Scott. Spirit back in numbers though. Ollie Wigan, one of them. In fact, it was Chidiac all the way back there doing the defending.
Side on! Find your man!
It's been a savvy little pick-up for David Perkovic from Rydalmere last season, and Afuka has struggled to get into the game. He's driven towards goal there and picked up the free kick off Jared Lum. It's an outlet. I'm sure David Carney would have made a point of trying to get across to his players that he wanted to sort out a little more often than they were able to in the first half. A lot of the attacking play came down the right, and a lot of it was through Lockie Scott drifting out to that side in combination with Mustafa. So a couple of goals in the last few weeks for their left back, Dylan Ryan, and he's striking a goal again here. It was a fairly easy one for Marquez to field. Towards the end of the second half, this was a difficult game to figure out. There's no real pattern or rhyme or reason to too much of it, other than the two ways that the teams were attempting to play, which are fairly consistent from week to week. Now, Riak has gone in very, very late there on Jared Lum. He's already on a booking, and I think Nathan Shakespeare will just be saying to him, Sammy, that's your last chance, son. Was one that hurt Jared Lum too. Not sure if he's aware Riak was on the booking and trying to build that contact for all it was worth. Now he's having a rather heated discussion with the referee.
Need another one else! Back up.
Still the conversation continues now between the referee and Riak as they retreat back towards Wollongong's goal. Lum once again trusted with the set-piece duties. Cornwell floating onto that one. They managed to steer it on target, just didn't quite have the pace behind it to trouble Janjetovic, but that's more promising for Spirit from those set pieces. That's a gorgeous ball in behind. Mustafa's a favourite in the foot race, and Marquez, who is so adept at reading those situations, timed his challenge to perfection. Had to do it too, because the Spirit line had been broken. Wollongong just starting to generate a few more chances as this game wears on. They had the better of the end of the second half. They've had the better of the start of the first of this one. Mustafa again. Riak going towards Hernandez. Just didn't quite have the spin Riak wanted. He attacks alive to Afuka. Back from whence it came in the form of Riak. Now Ryan's striding onto it. Hernandez. That ball was hopeful, but never really reaching its intended target. Shouts continue from Perkovic, but his side seemed to have that one well covered the whole way. He's reluctant to go out into an all-out press to this point. It's not to say they're sitting in a low block by any stretch of the imagination, but showing some wherewithal and understanding of the game situation. Right, an acrobatic interception. Fall to anyone in red. Darko dinking it over the top. Darko was back there to make the initial clearance. It's come all the way back to Richard Darko.
Combine!
Back on his right foot this time. Stretching was Chidiac, and he's managed to give Wigan something to try and reel in. Twisting, but he was outnumbered, and now the Wolves will try and spring forward and counter-attack again. Mustafa's caused problems with his pace down the right tonight. Ball was a little bit heavy for Riak, and that's a terrific challenge from Nicholas, who knocked it off the on-rushing midfielder on one side the goal kick. 5 goals they managed to put past the Central Coast Mariners last weekend for Wollongong. Ended up a little bit of a dry spell over the last month, in terms of results, and also been in terms of the goals that they've been able to score. They've been so good away from home in the first month of the season, going to Sydney United and winning. Chidiac thumps that against Kanaizumi. A couple of losses since then, and like Spirit, finding the back of the net has tended to be the issue in those games in which they've not been as competitive. Both teams have shown a desire to be defensively disciplined so far tonight. Richie Darko going to try and reach the Wolves' defence here with his corner kick. Floats it towards the back post. Cornwall was waiting across the face of goal, but there was no one in yellow waiting for it. And now Afuka is isolated, which is exactly where the Wolves want him. And Mustafa's got the wrong side of Cornwall, who did well to recover, and then Mustafa lost his footing. Still the attack stays alive, though. Out to Hernandez. Face to face with Nicholas, and that's a very sharp save from Marquez. He's been the busier of the two goalkeepers in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and that's the best save of the night so far. Fuka drifting in field. He's done that further and further as this game has worn on. Spirit try and hit on the counter. Michelle's certainly got the pace and presence to do that, but Kanaizumi's marshalled him well so far tonight. He's cut the shape of an isolated centre forward quite a few times this evening. Perkovic just sensing that the Wolves are starting to get some momentum. Leads his team for calm. Just to slow the tempo a little and regain some control of this game. Be careful playing out from the back there, though. Bakmaj is almost a little sloppy. They haven't found him as much as they were tending to in the first half when playing out. Another ball curled over the top. Michelle, I think, has timed his run this time. The flag stayed down. Now he needs yellow shirts with him. Sliding in, timing the challenge beautifully was Madden, but it's another corner for Spirit. Starting to build into more of these set-piece situations. The subs available to both sides in just a moment, because I'm expecting we'll be seeing one or two of them in the next 5 or 10 minutes. We tick towards the hour mark here at Christie Park. Still goalless. Jared Lum on the far side to deliver this one. Crowd of bodies, but Janjetovic was always favourite. This is Lockie Scott, the Wolves captain. Former Western Sydney Wanderer. Hernandez growing into this game. Just needs some end product to go with his good lead-up work. Finds McStay, and this time it's the Wolves' turn to try and break down their opposition from a set piece, a corner on the near side. McStay over to take it. In the first half, he hasn't quite been at his best from these situations tonight. Been able to beat Bakmaj from a corner to this point. Manages to get it over there even this time. Kanaizuми, it's a looping header. And Marquez had to read it all the way to ensure it didn't take an inadvertent touch off the post or one of his defenders. On its way past him. Good piece of goalkeeping, he's been tidy tonight. So the subs available to David Perkovic tonight. Should he choose to go to them? Number 18, Zach Shanchi. His goal earlier in the broadcast. Get his senior count underway in New South Wales anyway. Number 21, Luis Lobo is the experienced head. Number 34, Noah Peacock, coming off a goal in midweek, which I mentioned. Number 31, Joel Wade. Number 14, Jacob Sullivan. And number 36, Kaya Williams. All available there as well. First three I mentioned are the most attacking. Now Ante Bakmaj with a cynical piece of play. He's already served a suspension this year. after accruing the maximum number of bookings allowed, which is 5. The Hawaii count is getting towards 7 or 8 now, aren't they? Hazarded a position he finds himself in, but finding himself in the referee's eye a little much for David Perkovic's liking, particularly because now the Wolves have another attacking set piece as we see a line of bodies from just outside Marques's net. It's a very high line from Spirit. Can it be breached? Madden did well to get anything on that. He managed to steer it on goal, and the ball really was behind him, was even more remarkable. It's never going to end in the back of the net, though. Chidiac, who was so telling in the opening quarter of an hour, has drifted out of the game a little. Spirit's possession base play has mostly been in their own half. There's not been a lot happening in the attacking third of the pitch. Kinley. Shaw clever. Still only 19 years of age, Carl Shaw. Tossing up first grade matches at a rate of knots. He's going to see the most experienced players of the competition by the time he's 21. Hopeful ball from Darko. Really going to reach anyone in yellow, and then sloppy bit of play from Wally Wigan to turn it over. Mustafa ducking inside. It's Yasum Mustafa. Lovely bit of defending from Jared Lum, timing the challenge to perfection. It's been that sort of night if you're an appreciator of the art of defending. Both teams have done that very nicely. Got players like Banri Kanaizumi, Darcy Madden, who's come into the side tonight for Harrison Buesnell. Kyle Shaw has been an absolute rock at the heart of Spirit's defence. Michelle has been limited to touches like that one. Now another ball has found its way onto the penalty spot there. One of the few clubs in the league that play their 20s fixtures after the first grade team. Those two squads warming up below us now. Back into the final half hour of this one. Lum caught again by Lachlan Scott, not for the first time this evening. Hasn't been the most lively of football matches to this point in the NPL New South Wales men's competition, but certainly there is a pattern of late goals here at Christie Park over the last year. Michelle has climbed his run and he's through on goal, facing Janjetovic, slots it through his legs, and out of nothing, Spirit take the lead. 1 moment of hesitation at the back from Wollongong. A beautifully timed run from Michelle, who's cut a frustrated figure up front tonight, but when it's presented itself to him, the opportunity, he was unerring in the finish. Sent Janjetovic the wrong way and slid it between his legs, which remains planted to the spot. His third of the year. What an astute signing. I mentioned the impact Jake Chidiac's made tonight. What a signing from Inter Lions in League One. David Perkovic has done his homework with some of his recruitment this season. Players making an impact for him this year. And what a big goal that could be in Spirit's season. Mentioned what an important result the win over Wollongong here last year was for Spirit. They're looking to repeat the trick. Has to be said, it was a game that looked as though it was just trickling along to a game that might finish goalless. Certainly that has changed the complexion. Hernandez gets his head to another ball, but once again isn't able to steer it on target. And if you want a lesson in how cruel the art of defending is in football, Wolves back four that has handled everything thrown at it suffering one lapse in concentration and being badly punished. And now the attacking Stocks need to come up with something in response. Decent ball in from Takami. Mustafa in the air. Marquez chooses to punch, and it's effective. Norman McKinley riding to clear, and a nice touch from Michelle, who's full of confidence now, and this time just straying. It's not too far away from a second one-on-one opportunity with Vedran Janjetovic in a matter of moments. Unsurprisingly, there's not too much agreement from the Spirit camp below us. Naji was right in line with that one as it was played through. Had a good view. Wolves trying to answer down the other end. That was probably the most dangerous ball we've seen fired in from Dylan Ryan this evening. And Lockie Scott was sniffing around on the end of it. Tension of Kyle Shaw enough to put him off. Well, that goal will be the weight of Spirit's back that they were looking for. Not had too much problem keeping their discipline. They've suffered a couple of heartbreakers. One away at Marconi springs to mind very early in the year. Felt they were thwarted a week ago, or a couple of weeks ago at Manly United when chasing the game and had the momentum with them when the lights went out, of all things. With about 2 minutes of stoppage time to play and the team in full flight. Janjetovic taking his time over this goal kick. Wollongong will be looking to take every second available to them. Chasing this game, but still without a win against non-academy opposition since their win, over Hills United. Flying last month or so for the visitors has thrown them another test. They'll pass this examination. Certainly Spirit are looking buoyed by that goal. Full of confidence now. McKinley. Ball for Darko. Oh, that's a beautiful bit of work to nutmeg Ryan, and then felt he was held back. It was right in front of the Spirit bench as well. The energy from the players on the pitch has just upped the level. Since that goal from Jesse Michelle. What a massive moment. A game that doesn't look like it's going to give us too many goals. That might be the deciding moment of this one. Some of those couple of missed opportunities either side of half-time start to be thought a little bit more about by the Wolves fans, although Afuka's giving them something to hope for here. Searching ball cut out by Nicholas as Scott was arriving. Still no substitutions used by either manager. We're into the final quarter of the game.
Pressure on the ball!
Alex Marciovecchio is being readied by David Carney. He's fallen out of the first team squad over the past couple of weeks. It's a nice little weapon to have off the bench. Former Rockdale player. Hernandez, I think, might be about to see the end of his evening. He's worked very hard, but he's not managed to find the back of the net. And that goal that would have been so valuable to Wollongong. And indeed it is Hernandez who makes way. So Alex Marciovecchio, wide player most often for David Carney, but being used as a partner to Lachlan Scott tonight. Second season with the Wolves after making the move from Rockdale last year. 22-year-old. Does he hold the key to the game for Wollongong? Certainly the clock is their friend as it once was in terms of taking a result from Christie Park tonight. Kanazumi playing it wide for Dylan Ryan. Mustafa's switched out to the left flank. He managed to squeeze in behind Grant Cornwall. Is there anyone in red there? He might look to do it all himself. Yasser Mustafa. He's grown into this game as Wollongong have looked for someone to take it by the scruff of the neck. Fuka's impact has been limited. I mentioned him early in the game as someone who potentially held the key. Spirit have dealt with his threat consistently tonight. That ball has left veteran Janjetovic with quite a bit to do from Andre Takami. Rather unorthodox 1-2 between goalkeeper and, well, makeshift left full back, and then Cornwall going in with a boot raised. Dylan Ryan feeling the effects. Cornwall, too much to say, but it's a booking for the Spirit captain. Really now from a neutral's perspective, and I'm sure from the Wolves supporters watching this game, is do they have anything more inventive to go to? A lot of this sort of thing, even at this, there's still 20 minutes to play. Veteran Janjetovic hoisting balls up towards the front. Could work out nicely though, if Fuka read the ball well. And in red there to follow up, but they're trying to keep this attack alive through Ryan down the left. Happy to settle for a throw. This restart finally taken quickly. Lum stretching to clear. Lovely touch from McStay, who can shoot with either boot. Wants to go short for Takumiya Fuka. And now Ryan. Former Victory player. It's a decent ball in. McStay with a half-hearted shout for something from the referee. I don't think that was ever forthcoming. Nice bit of running power shown off by Ollie Wigan. Well read by Banri Kanazumi, showing all his years of experience. And how about the weight on the pass for Mustafa? He'll dance towards the penalty area again. He's looking to draw a challenge, couldn't do that, so he switches the angle of attack out for Chris McStay. And that really is not a cross befitting a player of his quality. Needs to be balanced as well. It's difficult to measure those sorts of crosses, but it's nowhere near the mark there. Now, Spirit player down. It's the leader of their midfield in Jared Lum. One I think that David Perkovic would be too happy about seeing, because he's a player who covers so much ground through the centre of the park and has got through a lot of work tonight. In terms of who they could bring on, Jacob Sullivan's probably almost like-for-like switch in that position, but much younger player. Spirit have brought through their junior system. Lobo is up and flitting about as well. A couple of other youngsters down behind the goal of Vedran Janjetovic, but no change coming yet. Jared Lum's keen to continue. Understanding he has with David Perkovic, given his experience, not just in Australia, but 7 seasons over in Hong Kong.
Come in!
Nice work from Chidiak, was having his shirt held by Mustafa, and that was spotted by Shakespeare. Spirit did all that little passage with a player less. Now I think there are subs coming because Spirit officials are in conversation with Declan Woods, the 4th official.
Don't be casual, don't be casual.
Just over a quarter of an hour for the Wolves to try and find an equaliser. But Spirit have had control of this game really since going ahead through their striker Jesse Michel. His third goal of the year in the league. Could be his most important yet. And he's looking to get a second. Going onto his left foot. And Madden did well to time the challenge and not only do that, but knock it off the striker. Now the change comes. It's going to be Luis Lobo. Like one more stoppage to take it. Now stops play. So Lobo going to be the man. Ollie Wigan to be removed. Another night full of industry and a little bit of inspiration, but that's ended fruitlessly on a personal note. After a lot of defensive work down that left flank as well tonight, limiting the influence of Andre Takami, who's an outlet David Carney likes to go to in an attacking sense. He's got such a cultured right foot. In fact, both his fullbacks do. Whistles come from behind us, so play on. Marcio Vecchio. First touch I can remember him having since coming on. That was nearly 10 minutes ago.
She got two. Lummy right shoulder.
Damning indictment on what the Wolves have been able to create late in this second half. That's a better ball from McStay, though. And Mustafa was trying to make something of it. Good piece of defending from Grant Cornwell to make sure he couldn't get a clean run at the football. Cornwell's almost knocked us out up here. Another ball has found its way onto the pitch again. First time tonight. Not sure what they're doing over there in the warm-ups. I think it was the Wolves players that knocked it on as well. Just wonder about the urgency that Wayside tonight. Not playing like a team trailing 1-0 with just under 15 minutes to go.
Come on, get that second ball, guys! Get hungry!
Spirit looked comfortable with their lead. In vast contrast to the problems Wolves were giving home teams earlier in the season. Just a team towards, particularly at the end of last year, no one wanted to face. Carried that form on at the start of this season, but it's just all fallen away over the last 6 weeks or so. That narrative could change very quickly. They're quickly running out of time. Go to another one of the youngsters. Spirit are really allowing them back into this game. Another sloppy giveaway in their own half.
Field positioning!
Battling for it is Chidiac. Shrinking influence as the game has gone on, and now Wollongong, well, they wanted to get the game started, but their bench wanted to make a substitution. So off comes Andre Takami, unable to offer as much from right full back, I'm sure, as David Carney would have liked tonight. Placed by the youngster Damon Gray. Edging on the year's anniversary of his debut last season. Long again from Wollongong. Can they come up with something from the seconds of Fuka? Mustafa for a Fuka. Two wingers have ended up on the same side of the pitch and then just belted the ball into one another. Goodness me. Chase not quite going to plan for Wollongong at this stage. Spirit looking comfortable. This is a much needed victory if they're able to hang on for the final 10 minutes or so, plus whatever's wanted to be added on. Mentioned a couple of times in this broadcast, they got that final 15 minutes of the cup tie against Dulwich Hill on Tuesday night back at Fraser Park.
Sonny, come on! Get them up!
When a funny little run of fixtures. They host Apia here next weekend. That's a Saturday 5:30 kickoff again here at Christie Park. They're travelling away to Sydney FC, home against Sutherland Sharks, two of the teams engulfed in the relegation battle that Spirit are trying to extricate themselves from. And then Sydney United visit at the end of the month. Of course, popped over the top, and once again, there is no target in red really anywhere close to it. As for the Wolves, it's not a run that's going to get any kinder for them either. Manly United are starting to come into some form. They've managed to take points off most of the teams that have gone to Cromer Park. That's a dreadful giveaway. McStay! And Marquez bails his defenders out. What on earth was Ante Buckmarsh thinking there? Still the danger not averted. Scott sliding across. Mustafa trying to make something of it. Certainly made a mess of Cornwall's clearance. Ryan Riak is caught on his heels, and McKinley is belting the ball away from Darcy Madden. Inquest being held by both sides into quite what is going on in their management of this game. We could be seeing a very chaotic final 10 minutes. Mustafa. Running power has caused Spirit problems a couple of times tonight. Scott trying to measure one for a Fuka. The red shirts in the middle, but the low option probably wasn't the right one from the Japanese winger. He has a second bite, that's better. And it was a free header at the back post for Chris McStay. First sight of goal he's seen this evening. The Wolves midfielder has got an eye for goal, and really he would have been expecting that he did better with that opportunity. Not the first time I've said that tonight about either side. Ante Buckmarsh is down right near the sideline here. Some concerns about the Wolves, for the Wolves about the time that's going to be added on. That's one of the first bits of urgency. There have been chances tonight for Wollongong, must be said. Most of them have been from those sort of situations. Crosses in good areas. Ryan's produced a couple of them. So now, the changes do come for Spirit. And Kaya Williams to be brought on. Chianchi's going to wait his turn. Buckmarsh out. Cornwall goes into the centre of defence alongside Shaw.
Overhit it!
And Ryan trying to fire that one in behind for Mustafa, but had far too much on it. Spirit to take this one deep inside their own half. Brought down, and free kick has gone the way of the Wolves. Joe Chiniak bewildered quite how he gave away that free kick. Now a chance for Chris McStay from another set-piece situation. It's not been his best night, but he changed that with one moment. Spirit haven't been able to really take the game by the scruff of the neck. Are they about to be punished? It's a dangerous ball. Nicholas back doing the defending, and then a challenge which drew contact. I don't think it was ever really enough to draw a referee's whistle and a penalty kick.
Oh, you have the
extra! From the Wolves bench.
Richie, he's two!
Scott. Top for a Fuka. Williams in pursuit. And Ryan measure. That's a better cross. Scott was leaning back, and that meant the ball just lobbed up in the air for Marquez to claim. Mustafa has not stopped chasing lost causes tonight. He started his run from an offside position there. Players waiting on the bench for Carney. He seems fit to use a couple of them. Jake True is there, but he's not been called upon.
Second ball! Play the whistle, Richie!
Nice piece of work from trying to get the game going again. The Wolves trying to exploit some of this space down the right. Marcio Vecchio with grass in front of him. Ray measuring his options, goes low. Again, Wolves' best chances have come from crosses in the air. Those low ones have been dealt with pretty comfortably by Spirit on every occasion. Lobo showing us some of the Brazilian flair. Chidiac into a scrap with Riak. That's been a continuing theme of the night between those two. And then Riak played the advantage and then turned the ball over and expected the free kick to be blown. Shrug of the shoulders from referee Shakespeare. Pressure being put on by Spirit, looking to double their advantage. Shot from out wide. Nicely in front of Janjetovic. It was a fairly easy claim. Kaya Williams, who's tidy, sits coming on at right full back. Ryan. Lum driving his team forward with his words as well as his actions. The Spirit look to hold on for a vital 3 points tonight. Just 9 points coming into the evening. 15 by this stage last season, so a win particularly at this stage is just going to raise them out of that little relegation scrap at the moment. It'll take them equal with Hills, who have just kicked off. At Landon Stadium, taking them up here like that. It's going to be difficult for them to get any points tonight. It's another free kick conceded by Spirit around the edge of their penalty area. This time, Kaya Williams catching Afuka. And it's going to be a booking as well for Kaya Williams. It's going to be called out. Happy to stay in his defensive position. First challenge and a first yellow card for the youngster. Let's hope it's not costly for Spirit. Stay deep again, but too deep for anyone in a red shirt to get anything on. Marquez getting his fist to it first. Chidiac keeps it in play. And a couple more precious seconds tick off the clock. Marcio Vecchio with a scrappy sort of ball in towards the box, and then feels for hands against Shaw. Gray's picked it up. Afuka. Cornwall did enough with it. Mustafa keeping the attack alive. Wollongong need a bit of inspiration. They've not been able to conjure one all evening. Marcio Vecchio playing it to no one in particular. Gray trying to make something of that ball as it bounced towards the penalty area. Turning away was Luis Lobo. Even he's turning it over tonight. Just no one can keep control of the football in these dying stages. Michelle turns it over in midfield. McStay. Nice touch from Lockie Scott. Playing hold up as he loves to do. Might look to go himself. A little dinked ball for McStay, which he couldn't bring under his spell. Lobo tried a back heel. What a situation to do that. just passes over the head of Scott. Perhaps a chance for Spirit to get away on the counter. Michelle's well onside. Madden's going to have to make up a lot of ground. Jesse Michelle lining up. Groans of the crowd tell the story. Again, the Wolves getting themselves in a pickle playing out. Both teams have had real issues in that area of the pitch tonight. Riak, Afuka. I think David Carney will acknowledge a long way short of their best at the moment. Spirit, a scrappy performance, but 3 points they will take gladly, considering their situation. Riak. So often the man who is able to find that moment of inspiration has not been able to find it tonight.
Stay with Maka.
So Chanchi probably to be the last change tonight.
Leave it. Leave it. You want to leave it? Yeah, leave it. Sorry, we're not going to cancel it.
Jared Lum, well, was about to be removed by Perkovic, but...
No, I thought he was injured.
Jared Lum, who has been having discourse with the bench for the entirety of the half. The referees are not too happy with Spirit there for stopping players though they were going to make a sub and then electing not to make it. Of course they're not obliged to, but time-wasting conversation will start to be had. We're into stoppage time here in the second half. Not expecting too much to be added on, so Wolves are going to have to make the most of every situation. That is a couple of times we've seen Nicholas do that now. Time he slide to perfection and just thump the ball off the on-rushing attacker. Superb stuff. I mentioned it's been a night for those who value the defensive side of the game. There has been some stunning displays of that. But Jesse Michelle's goal looks as though it's going to be the difference. Still no away sides. Has managed to even get more than a draw in more than 2 decades of this fixture. That's not to say it's been played that often, but you have to go back to the 90s for the last time an away side even got a point out of this fixture. And Michelle's looking to kill it off. It's Jesse Michelle the wrong side again and look to be unselfish rather than going for goal. But the time eaten off the clock is almost as valuable as the goal he might have found. I'm sure he's not feeling that way at the moment. But his performance, in terms of the character he's shown, considering he was on the periphery of the match for so long, is a credit to himself. Playing for one of the top sides in the competition, you have to make the most of your opportunities. He has done that this evening. Spirit looking to use every second they can. Now they play it short to Darko, who's looking to keep it in the corner. Riak came in with in fact it was Mustafa who came in with a flying foot. And now he has some frustrated words with Ayed Naji, the assistant on the near side. Michelle, it was a firm challenge from behind by Ryan, but a fair one. The Wolves might have one last bite of the cherry. Long for Scott. Nice touch. And the whistle's blown. A late opportunity for Wollongong. Scott is the best proponents of that sort of hold-up play in the competition. The Wolves bear the fruits of his work up there with another late set piece. Into the 4th minute of stoppage time in the second half. It's a difficult one for McStay to measure. Cornwall there initially. Mustafa just needs a yard. Fell for Afuka. And Marquez reels it in his near post. That might be the final moment for the Wolves. A big 3 points will be staying at Christie Park tonight. Wolves have it down the wrong end. Mustafa. A frustrated figure this evening. Marquez with a beautiful ball out, just releases the pressure. Lobo, sort of situation he thrives in. Another shoot or pass. Maizumi did well. McKinley. Chidiak might just look to head to the corner. That's exactly what he does. Not all the way there. Protecting it, reacted well to win it back. Or can the Wolves steal something late? Claim some payback for that late winner last season. It's not to be. Reminder not to leave us when this game finishes. 3 more games already playing on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Michel trying to make himself double the start. Fires over once again. We are into a 6th minute of stoppage time. Under the air. Williams did well. Scott continuing to make something of every ball that is launched up towards him. Wolves just not showing any sort of urgency about getting the ball back in play quickly. They're not being helped by some of the Spirit ball boys, sure. Ryan now is taking his time. Mustafa, that ball struck him in the face. Still they keep it alive. McStay. React's got plenty of space. Will they line it up? Better. Gray. Body streaming forward. Scott was up. Couldn't control the header. And David Perkovic's side might just have done enough.
Get up! Get up! All to the corner! Here! All here!
Marquez with a precious clean sheet. It's been a while for him. It's been a while for the Spirit. They have been that in name and nature tonight. Kinley just belts the ball forward. It's going to take a lot of seconds off the clock. One of the Spirit 20s less than helpful in playing the ball back to veteran Janjatovic. He's seen it all before. Still there's time. Cornwall on the initial header. Lobo did enough. And Lum played it out. Not their prettiest performance. I'm sure Spirit will acknowledge that, but they will take a very precious 3 points tonight. A disciplined defensive display against the toothless Wolves, it must be said. They didn't really create too much of note. Sebastian Hernandez missing a header from right in front, but that was the best opportunity they produced. A couple of saves in the second half to Chris Marquez, who keeps a 3rd clean sheet of the season. He'll treasure that. Spirit will treasure the 3 points, which just moved them a couple more points clear of relegation discussions. Well, it's back to the drawing board for Wollongong, whose tough month or so is turning into a tough month or two. Pleasure bringing you this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube page tonight. Make sure you stay around for all our other fixtures tonight, and of course the couple we've got for you tomorrow. But it's Alex Molchanoff signing off from Christie Park in round 14, where it has finished Northwest Sydney Spirit FC 1, Wollongong Wolves 0.